Good morning everyone, my name is James Carlin. I hereby to present my topic which is coating and surface treatment for concrete and steel. First, let us derive concrete. Concrete is a durable, strong composite building materials made by mixing cement, water, and aggregates. It is a sand or maybe gravel, and it hardens like stone-like mass. Para siyang sedimentary rock but more only man-made. Second is let us define steel. Steel is a strong, versatile alloy made primarily from iron and carbon, which other element added to enhance specific properties like strength, hardness, or corrosion resistance. Let us proceed from our second slide. Our objective is explain why concrete and steel need surface protection, review major coating classes and surface treatments, highlight advanced polymers, organocelles, and nanomodified systems. Yes, na-derive na natin yung kanina, di ba? So, why we should use protective coatings? It is because we should use it to block UV, rain, chemicals, and abrasion. Para din yun ma-extend yung structure life para hindi mapabilis yung degradation and ano, hindi masyadong mahal and to cut maintenance cost kasi kapag hindi natin nilagyan ng mga protective coatings, mas lalo tayong gagastos. Bibili tayo ng bibili ng mga materials which is hassle and hindi pwede kasi hindi naman tayo naka-unlimited money glitch. Kaya gumagawa tayo ng paraan just to um, prolong the life of materials para magamit natin siya ng matagal, hindi natin siya masayang or hindi masayang yung mga pera natin para bumili ng iba't ibang mga gamit pa para palitan lang yung isang bagay na pwede naman natin i-prolong yung kanyang life. Second, this is a degradation mechanisms. Carbonation is a natural chemical process wherein atmospheric CO2 or carbon dioxide penetrates the concrete, reacting with calcium hydroxide to form calcium carbonate. And nire-reduce nito yung high pH level and potentially causing embedded steel reinforcement to rust. Yun yung or nagko-corrode siya. And nagli-lead yun sa cracks and structural damage which is ayaw natin kasi 'di ba if imagine natin there's a concrete tapos if na-penetrate nung carbon carbonation or ng CO2 yung cement natin since na-penetrate niya na tapos nandun na siya sa rebar and nag-corrode na or nag-rust yung rebar mag-flaking na yung rebar and then pagtapos nun susunod na yung concrete nun. Since nag-expand na yung niya, yung concrete niya, ang mangyari ay yung rebar niya, ang mangyari niyan, mag-expand na din yung concrete. Which is ayaw natin kasi pag nag-expand yung concrete and yung rebar, maglilid na yun sa cracking. Mas malalaglag na yung mga pieces niya. Yun yung mangyayari sa kanya. Tas sa chloride ingress naman, when salt water or rainwater penetrates the cement and attacks the rebars. Yung 'di ba, if imagine natin, binuhusan mo ng salt water yung cement. Ang mangyayari niyan, pag na-penetrate niya yung cement, pupunta yun siya sa rebars. Tapos kakapit siya sa rebars and then matutuyo siya. Ma-absorb siya ng rebars. Ang mangyayari nun, magra-rust yung rebar which is leading to ganun din, same sa carbonation. Magra-rust. Pagkatapos ng rust, mag-flaking yung rebar. Pagtapos ng flaking, magka-crack yung cement. Cement. Tapos since yung cement, nakaband yun sa rebar, yung dulo ng rebar, which is parang tawag dun ribs. Naka ano siya doon, naka-band siya doon. And pag yung mismong rebar na yung natuklap, nandun na nakaband, sasama na mismo yung ano nun, yung yung concrete. Tapos magka-crack na siya. Kasi nga nag-expand na eh. Magka-crack yun. Although di natin nahalata, parang kung iisipin natin parang ang hina naman ng force kapag nag-expand. Hindi yon kasi pag nag-expand yung isang bagay, kasama din dapat nila yung mga, kunwari, sir, rebars, napapatungan siya ng concrete. Pag na-expand yung rebar, mag-expand din yung concrete, madadamay siya. Kaya magka-crack, kaya mawawala yung bond. Depende na lang kung matindi yung elasticity ng concrete na pag nag-expand yung rebar, yung yung concrete mag-expand din, pero hindi siya magka-crack kasi nga elastic siya, di ba? So, freeze to damage naman. Alam naman natin lahat na pag nag-freeze yung isang bagay, nag-expand siya kasi yung mga water molecules nagiging solid. 'Di ba? Pag yung moist naging solid, umi-expand siya. Nag nagli-lead yun sa crack. 'Di ba? Pag nag-freeze na yung isang bagay or yung concrete, nag-freeze na siya, na-freeze. Ang mangyayari nun, magka-crack siya, magkakaroon siya ng flaking, magka-crack siya mula loob palabas. Yun yung nangyayari sa freeze to damage. So, di na natin discuss to baka kasi umaba. Water absorption and cracking. Kapag masyado namang madami yung water, parang lalambot. Para mawala yung band sa kanya, tsaka yung cracking. Natural na din naman yan. Gawa ng the more na ginagamit natin yung isang bagay, the more siya nagde-deteriorate. Pero syempre, kailangan din natin ng mga prevention para hindi agad siya mag-deteriorate. So, electrochemical corrosion. It is a galvanic process where water, oxygen, and aggressive agents like chlorides or CO2 causing carbonation. Binibreak down yung steel protective coating. Tapos nag-form siya ng anode na dinedissolve yung iron and cathodes na nire-reduce yung oxygen connected by steel which have electron flow and concrete pore solution. So, yun yung nangyayari sa electrochemical corrosion. Tapos, pitting and chloride, underfilled corrosion, and loss of section. Yung loss of section, yun yung mga nag-flaking, ganun. So, environmental factors to emphasize moisture, oxygen, salts, and etc. Marami talagang environmental factors. That's why nga kailangan natin ng protective coatings or mga protective coatings and mga prevention para hindi siya lumala and ma-prevent natin kahit papano para hindi tayo palit na materials. Kaya tayo gumagawa ng protective coatings and mga products na kung kaya namang gawin, igagawin natin para ma-preserve yung isang bagay, hindi agad siya masira or mag-deteriorate. So, dito naman tayo sa performance requirements. Kung ano ba yung mga performance requirements ng isang bagay para ma-meet yung standards natin. So, ito na tayo. Sunod naman tayo is water resistance and low water permeability, flexibility to handle thermal movement, good adhesion. Second is chemical resistance, resistant to acids or alkalis, solvents, de-icing salts, industrial chemicals. Third is UV resistance, color and gloss rather, resistance to choking and embrittlement, long service life outdoors. So, here and low water permeability, dapat nare-resist niya yung water as much as possible kasi the more na lumulusot yung water sa concrete, the more na pumapasok siya sa rebar, which is masama yun kasi pag di ba kunwari may salt water, na-penetrate niya yung concrete. Sunod nun, sa rebar na yung bagsak nun. And pag kumapit na siya sa rebar, alam naman natin lahat na magra-rust yun kasi may salt yun. Yung salt water na yun. And then, pag nag-rust na yun, balik na naman tayo sa process. Mag-flaking, ay pagtas mag-rust, flaking. Pagkatapos nun, ang mangyayari nun is mag-ano siya, magka-crack, tapos mag-fill up na yung mga part ng concrete kasi na-expand na siya. Sunod naman is flexibility to handle movement. Our second requirements is the product should have flexible to handle thermal movement, which is uminit or umulan man siya, ganun pa rin siya as is siya. Never siyang never siyang kukulubot or maglolobo. Kunwari, piminturahan mo yung rebar ng paint, acrylic paint na nagpe-prevent ng pagpasok ng mga salt water or ng mga CO2. Ganon para hindi siya rust tapos uminit sabay ulan. Ang nangyari, lumobo. Dapat hindi siya ganun. Dapat uminit umulan, ganun pa rin siya. Hindi siya magbabago ng muka, parang ganun ba. Tapos good adhesion. Ay naman natin na nag-fell off agad 'yon. Mamaya pag pintura mo sa bakal nun, bigla na lang natanggal siya, di ba? Dapat makapit siya na kahit anong mangyari, kakapit siya. Dapat ganun yung mga requirements natin. Second, in chemical resistance naman is dapat resistant siya sa acids. Dapat pag kunwari napatakan siya ng acid rain, dapat hindi mawawala yung yung ability niya na makapag-resist nun. Dapat hindi matatanggal yun. Dapat nandun pa rin yun. I-resist niya lang dapat yun. Tapos yung iba solvent and industrial chemicals, ganun din. Dapat mariresist nila lahat yun. Sa UV resistant naman, color and gloss retention, resistance to choking and embrittlement, long service life outdoors. Dapat nare-reflect niya lang yung UV rays. Yung iba ina-absorb, yung iba nare-reflect para hindi maabot ng UV rays yung materials natin. Dapat kunwari kung nire-reflect niya, glossy siya, ibig sabihin nire-reflect niya yung UV rays para hindi siya hindi ma-damage yung natin, hindi ma-damage yung material natin. Dapat protective siya, nakakapag-resist siya sa UV rays. Dapat hindi siya nasisira ng UV rays, matibay siya against UV rays. So, sa coating for concretes naman tayo. So, penetrating sealers, film forming system, emerging coatings. Dito naman sa penetrating sealers, meron tayong silanes and siloxanes penetrate 3 to 10 mm forming hydrophobic zones. Parang hydrophobic, yung hindi siya tinatablan, parang dumadaan lang sa kanyang water, parang gabi, ganun. That cut water or chloride ingress more than 90% while breathable. Hindi siya dikit-dikit masyado yung particles niya. Hindi yung sobrang niya, dapat breathable siya yung nakakahinga yung materials natin. Silicanates seal via calcium silicate, fluorinated version and oil resistance and UV stability. Here naman in film forming systems, acrylics offer UV or color retention, epoxies provide chemical barriers. Yung epoxy, siya yung ginagamit sa mga barko. Ganun yung kino-cover nila. Yan yung epoxy. Yung matigas siya, dalawang A and B, na pag pinaghalo mo, yung A tsaka B, titigas siya, tapos mag-form siya ng protective coating na magpe-prevent ng salt water, acid rain, mga chloride ingress, yun ganon. Magpe-prevent siya ng ganon pag nilagyan mo yung isang bagay. Kaya gamit yung epoxy sa marine in terms of marine sa mga barko gamit siya. Tapos polyurethanes, polyureas give flexibility, abrasion, resistance. Hindi siya basta-basta nagagasgas. Pag kiniskis mo siya, dapat nare-resist niya yun. Depende na lang kung chinisel mo na talaga siya. Yun. Pero may ibang materials na kahit i-chisel mo sila, matigas pa rin sila. Dapat ganun sila. Polymer cement hybrids ensure thermal compatibility. Dapat mapauminit, mapaumulan yan, rain or shine, ganun pa rin. Never magmabago yung ano niya. Hindi siya masisira. Ganun pa rin siya. Here, geopolymers resist acid, heat, nanomodified. Yung nanomodified or titanium O2. Sa itong nanomodified na ito, may mga kasama siyang carbon coating. Yung carbon, isa din siya sa mga magandang materials. Tapos to tortoise spots for 80% barriers, hybrids like silane, enable self-healing. Nagsi-self-healing daw siya. Like that. So, let us proceed on organosilanes on concrete. Here we have mechanism, benefits, and limitation. In mechanism, we have small molecules penetrate pores, react with surface hydroxyl groups, form hydrophobic polysiloxane network in the near surface zone. And benefits naman, reduced water and chloride ingress, which is yun dapat ang nasa coating palagi. Improve freeze-thaw and de-icing salt resistance, and breathability, allow vapor diffusion. Dapat yung vapor, kunwari, pag siya, lamig, tapos biglang uminit, hindi magbe-vaporize yung doon, yung water. So, dapat yung vapor na yung makakalabas siya. Hindi siya magkakos ng paglolobo. Kasi yung iba, di ba, pag nag-coat ka ng pintura, tapos lumamig, tapos na-trap yung moisture sa loob ng pintura, tapos uminit, lolobo yung pintura. Ayaw natin mangyari yun. Yung ganung scenario. So, dapat ina-allow din natin dapat kino-consider din natin yung breathability. Sa limitation naman, thin, invisible, protection, limited abrasion resistance, variable performance. Dito naman, ang kahinaan lang niya is, thin and invisible. Ibig sabihin, kapag kiniskis mo siya, matatanggal agad siya. Yun yung natin, yun yung niya, yun yung kahinaan niya. Na pag kiniskis mo siya, tanggal agad yung portion ng protective coating niya. Matatanggal agad yon. So, next is polymer and polymer modified cementitious coatings for concrete. Next. Acrylics, epoxy coatings, polyurethane and polyurea, polymer modified cementitious coatings. Sa acrylics naman, dapat good UV resistant and color retention. Para ma-reflect, sa color retention is para ma-reflect niya yung UV rays or yung mga kulay na may dalang UV rays. Moderate chemical resistance used as breathable protected paints and anti-carbonation coatings. Sa epoxy coatings naman, that should have high chemical aberration, which is tamang-tama naman sa epoxy kasi kahit kiskisin mo siya ng kiskisin, mahirap siya tanggalin. Depende na lang talaga kung i-chisel mo siya ng malala. Matatanggal talaga yung epoxy. Low permeability, mainly for interiors where UV exposure is limited kasi nagka-crack siya kapag masyado siyang exposed sa UV rays. Sa polyurethane naman and polyurea, excellent flexibility and abrasion resistance, good weather and chemical resistance, often used top coats on epoxy. Ito yung ginagamit na pang top coat sa epoxy kasi nga low siya sa permeability and sa UV exposure, UV rays, resistant to, mahina siya. Dapat ito yung partner niya, which is ilalagay natin siya for pag naglagay tayo first, 'di ba? Epoxy. Tapos sunod natin yung polyurethane. Tapos polymer naman, modified cementitious. Yun siya yung parang halo, mix siya, tapos pinapahid siya sa mga semento. Yung paghahaluin mo siya ng water, tapos yan, para, tapos magkakama siya sa parang semento, tapos ipapahid mo siya na parang ano man tawag doon? Parang skim coat like that. So next, we have advanced nano-modified polymer coatings for concrete. Here we have nano-modified polymer coating concepts. Nanoparticles like silica or silicon dioxide, titanium dioxide, carbon nanotubes, yung mga carbon na maliliit, ganun. CNTS or MAXins are dispersed 0.5 to 2 Wt% into polymer matrices. Yun yung ginagawa sa nano-modified polymer coatings. Next. So here the figure of modified coating. Ito yung mga pallets. Ito yung mga nanopallets. Plain polymer. Diretso na siya ng diffusion path. Ang bilis niya. Pag may modified coating siya, madami pa yung pagdadaanan niya. Madami pa siyang kakainin bigas bago siya makakarating dito sa sa baba, sa pinakababa na nagpapaslow. Ganun yung nangyari sa kanya. Coatings for steel naman tayo. Coatings such of steel should have zinc-rich primers. Parang yung galvanized steel, may mga zinc yan sila. Epoxy intermediate coats, polyurethane top coats, service environments. Dito sa zinc, yung mga best example dito is yung galvanized steel. May mga zinc siya unless i-welding mo, wala yung zinc coating niya. And yun yung maglilid ng rust. Sa epoxies naman, epoxy intermediate coats, may mga coat siya ng epoxy. Pero konti lang. Yun yung nangyari dito. Tapos sa polyurethane, parang ang ino-offer nito is gloss retention and abrasion resistance. Pero para hindi siya masyadong matablan ng UV rays. Ganyan. Sa service environment naman, sa C2 to C5, low to high corrosivity, ibig sabihin hindi siya nagko-corrode agad. Sa marine naman, splash or tidal. Sa immersion naman sa tanks. So yun yung nangyayari. So here we have advanced polymers for steel. Epoxy system, high build epoxies for splash zone, tank linings, and rebar, excellent chemical and water barrier, but poor and UV resistant. Again, kailangan natin ng polyurethane para maging UV resistant siya. High gloss and color retention, good abrasion, and chemical resistant, fast curing in the field. Mabilis daw siya mag-cure o mabilis siya parang mabuo agad or mag-cure na. Parang mabuo agad, maging solid agad yung particle niya. Excellent long-term UV color stability. Yun yung nangyari sa fluoropolymer top coats. Next. Organosilanes and siloxane systems on steel or reinforced concrete. First, reinforced concrete silane treatment reduce water and chloride penetration, indirectly protecting the embedded steel or the rebar. Nagpo-produce siya ng hydrophobic concrete cover And siloxane naman, blends can be used as primers or hydrophobic underlays beneath organic top coats to decrease underfilm corrosion risk. So, pwede mo siya gawing primer tapos tapos lagyan mo siya ng maybe polyurethane, polyurethane, tapos organofunctional silanes or epoxy or aminosilanes act as adhesion, parang pandikit ba siya? Metal coating. So, ganun. So, surface preparation naman. Ito yung mga preparation, remove contaminants, oil, loose particles, para dumikit siya. Sa steel naman, standard surface preparation grades. Importance, dapat clean siya palagi. Wala siyang rust, ganun. So, yun. Next, design of coating systems. So, silane plus acrylic for weather or with salts, because silane penetrates 3 to 5 mm for 80 to 90% chloride reduction. Breathable acrylic 100 to 200 millimeter ata to. Blocks carbonation, while vapor permeable 10 to 15-year life on bridges or parking decks. Sa polymer, cement plus polyurethane for severe naman. Polymer modified cementation 3 to 2 to 3 millimeters matches thermal expansion resist salts. Polyurethane top coat 100 to 500 mm. Siya, nag-ano siya ng abrasion, nag siya ng parang pine-prevent yung abrasion resistant. Steel bridge maritime coating systems. Sa zinc epoxy naman primer. Yung mga ginagamit sa galvanized steel para siya, hindi para magprovide siya ng galvanic protection. Tapos next is thickness and performance. Dapat siya, makapal siya para hindi agad na-penetrate, kasi kapag manipis lang siya, maybe yung abrasion, makiskis siya. Suddenly, siya, matanggal yung coating niya, ganun. Tapos maintenance intervals, dapat may siya, may maintenance siya. Hindi yung hayaan mo na lang porket nalagyan mo na ng ganun. Dapat check mo or maintenance mo siya. Weather and UV performance. In weathering mechanisms, UV-initiated change, scission, in polymers, oxidation, chalking, loss of gloss, microcracking, and erosion, use inherently UV-stable binders such as acrylic, fluoropolymers, some polyurethanes, and add UV absorbers such as ALS, and itatop coat mo daw siya. Avoid leaving epoxies untop coated in direct sunlight. Kasi nga, wala siyang UV resistant. Kailangan lagyan mo pa rin siya ng polyurethane. So next, chemical resistant. Polymer environment matching, epoxy Novolac system resists strong acid, alkalis, and solvent via close-linked aromatic structure. Ideal for chemical tanks. Polyurethane or polyurea handle fuel splashes abrasion and moderate chemicals with flexible urethane linkage. In concrete specific system, polymer modified cementitious or geopolymer endure alkaline or salt-rich water via compatible pH and low permeability. Suiting salt water or marine concretes. So next, sustainability and durability. So durability benefits coatings structure life by 15 to 30 years, cutting repair frequency by 50 to 70% and lowering life cycle embodied carbon through deferred reconstruction. Environmental aspect. low VOC water-bound acrylic epoxy, and 100% solid polyureas eliminate solvents and chromate-free primers. Use zinc phosphate or rare earth inhibitors. So next. So this is case study. Would be topic. So this is summary. Coatings and surface treatment for concrete and steel, enhancing weather, chemical, and UV resistance. Explain degradation mechanisms like carbonation, chloride ingress, and corrosion in concrete or steel. Performance need and solution including penetrating sealers, film formers, epoxies, nanomodified polymers via labyrinth effect, steel systems, epoxy plus fluoropolymer top coat, surface preparation, tailored designs for bridges, weathering strategy, chemical matching, sustainability, case study, and key takeaway on preparation specific hybrids for extended life. Kailangan natin dapat hindi gamit lang tayo ng gamit. We need to um, maintenance pa palagi yung mga materials natin para hindi sila mag-deteriorate. So, here we have a Q&A session. So, thank you for listening and I hope you learned something from me. Bye!